Hi, I'm Joe. I teach at the School of Visual Arts. I've been teaching here in the photography department for 22 years. I'm also the staff photographer at a public media company here in New York. I've got the greatest job in the world. I take beautiful pictures for money. I think the only way I could be living the dream better is if I were an astronaut, and since I'm kind of not okay with heights, I think that I've settled pretty nicely. It's kind of funny, originally when I was younger, I actually did want to kind of grow up to be an astronaut, and I was studying aerospace engineering in college, and I was working at a camera store at the time to pay my tuition. And I was doing less and less and less well at school as I became increasingly resentful of the time my studies were taking away from the photography thing that I was doing, and that was consuming so much of my life. At that time, you know, I had to talk my parents into staking out a corner of the basement and setting up an enlarger and making a mess on the washing machine with the developer chemical and all of that stuff. And as my grades were slipping lower and lower and lower at the college that I was at, my best friend at the time took me out and dropped a beer in front of me and said, "What are you thinking?" And I went, "Oh, I could have my cake and eat it too." And I applied to art school. I'm actually a graduate of the School of Visual Arts. Came to SVA and spent 4 years working harder than I ever had at anything before in my life, and had more fun doing it than anything that I'd ever done previously. I'm taking pictures for money for 25 years now, and I'm still loving it. I'll tell you, I don't want to say anything bad about any other art school, but it's amazing how many of my peers that I graduated with are still doing this. It's a really competitive field. Being a photographer is a very competitive field. A lot of people want to do it. And I'm always amazed at how many of my students move on to really, really amazing careers that are marked by accomplishment and recognition and progress and advancement. I gotta believe a lot of that has to do with where they got their education. I've very much drunk the Kool-Aid here. I'm a photographer. I got to do it. It's not an easy thing to get into, and a lot of that is because of where I went and the education I got and the quality of the education I got and my amazing teachers. In order to teach here, I have to be a working professional in my field. That's one of the things about the school that's kind of amazing. And now I'd like to show you a series of tips that you can use for shooting better portraits.